Hi, Sadie Metter here with Sew Daily, and today I'm going to show you how to shear fabric. Shearing fabric is a technique that gives puckers, pleats, and stretch to woven fabric. What you need to shear is elastic thread and a light to mid-weight woven fabric. It doesn't work on stretchy or knit fabric. The first thing that you need to do is wind your bobbin with your elastic thread. So to do this, you're gonna hand wind your bobbin. And while you're doing this, you don't want to stretch the elastic, but you also don't want it to be loose. So you're going to need to kind of test it and play with it. Definitely do some practicing before you stitch your final project, but you'll completely wind your bobbin by hand and put it in your machine. So one way that you can shear is to draw lines with a marking tool, with a sewing marking tool that either disappears with heat or water, and a ruler. Here you could see I have lines drawn on this piece of fabric 1/2 inch apart, and I would just follow those lines as my stitching lines to create the shearing. However, if you're a lazy sewist like me, I like to just use the edge of my presser foot as my guide to create the rows so I don't have to draw them in advance. So as you can see, now I'm going to start the second row, and it's starting to already pucker. So I'm going to need to pull and stretch my fabric flat. As I'm stitching, my previous stitch is lining right up with my presser foot. That's going to be my guide. And you can backstitch at the beginning and the end, but it's not necessary if you're going to be stitching these into a seam allowance of your project. So as you can see, here's one that I've done quite a few rows on, and you'll see as I'm stitching, it gets a bit more difficult to do. So you want to take your time and make sure that as you're stitching, you're pulling your fabric flat and not stitching in any of those puckers. And just follow the previous line with your presser foot. And there you have it, sheared fabric. So once you're done stitching your sheared seams, a great tip is to steam it to get some additional puckering. The steam actually shrinks up the sheared stitches to give you a really great effect. Here are 2 projects from Sew Daily where we used shearing. This is the Shaped by Shearing blouse from our Spring 23 Sew News issue, and you'll see that the waist is sheared. And here is the adorable Sunny Side Shirred Blouse from our Summer 23 issue. Are there any techniques you'd like to learn? Let us know in the comments below. Happy sewing!